Hess was the oldest of three children, and he was born on the 26th of April 1894 in Alexandria, Egypt, into the ethnic German family of Fritz Hess, a preposterous merchant from Bavaria, and Carla Hess, or Niemunch. His brother Alfred was born in 1897, and his sister Margarete was born in 1908. The family lived in a villa on the Egyptian coast near Alexandria and visited Germany often from 1900 onwards, staying in their summer home in Reichsdagon, now part of Kerlemitz, in the Jülich Mountains. Hess attended a German-language Protestant school in Alexandria from 1900 to 1908, where he was sent back to Germany to study at a boarding school in Bad Godesberg. He demonstrated a aptitude for science and mathematics, but his father wished him to join the family business in Alexandria as Hess and Co., or Hess and Company. Okay. So he sent him back in 1911 to study at the École Supérieure de Commerce in Neuchâtel, or the Business School of Commerce in Neuchâtel, Switzerland. After a year there, Hess took an apprenticeship at a trading company in Hamburg. Within weeks of the outbreak of World War I, Hess enlisted in the 7th Bavarian Field Artillery Regiment. His initial posting was against the British on the Somme, where he was present at the First Battle of Ypres. On the 9th of November 1914, Hess was transferred to the 1st Infantry Regiment, stationed near Arras. He was awarded the Iron Cross 2nd Class and promoted to qoute, or corporal, in April 1915. After additional training in the Münster training area, he was promoted to Vice-Rebel, or Senior Non-Commissioned Officer, or Senior NCO, and received the Bavarian Military Merit Cross. Returning to the front lines in November, he fought in Artos, participating in the battle for the town of Nivelles-Saint-Vaast. After 2 months out of action and with a throat infection, Hess served at the Battle of Verdun in May and was hit by shrapnel in the left hand and even upper arm on the 12th of June 1916 in fighting near the village of Daumont. After a month out of action and to recover, he was sent back to Verdun and the Verdun salient, where he remained until the end of the battle in December. Hess was promoted to a platoon leader of the 10th Company of the 18th Bavarian Reserve Infantry Regiment, which was serving in Romania. He was wounded on the 23rd of July and again on the 8th of August 1917. The first injury was a shell splinter in the left arm, yet again, which was stressed in the field. But the second was a bullet wound that entered the upper chest near the armpit and exited near his spinal column, leaving a pea-sized entry wound and a cherry stone-sized exit wound in his back. By the 20th of August, he was well enough to travel, so he was sent to the hospital in Hungary and eventually back to Germany, where he recovered in the hospital in Meissen. In October, he received a promotion for Lieutenant de Reserve and was recommended for but did not receive the Iron Cross 1st Class. At his father's request and wishes, Hess was transferred to a hospital closer to home, arriving in Alexanderbad on the 25th of October 1917. While still convalescing, Hess had requested that he be allowed to enroll and train as a pilot. After some Christmas leave with his family, he reported to Munich. He received basic flight training at Oberstufheim and Lichfield Air Base in March and June 1918, and advanced training in Valenciennes in France in October. On the 14th of October, he was assigned to the Jagdstaffel 35B, a Bavarian flight squadron equipped with Fokker D-5 biplanes. He saw no action with the Jagdstaffel 35B, as the war ended on the 11th day of the 11th hour of the 11th month on the 11th of November 1918, before he had the opportunity to fly with the greats of Bromowski, Richthofen, and even someone else. But the story is not over. Hess was discharged from the armed forces in December 1918. The family fortunes had taken a serious downturn, as their business interests in Egypt had been expropriated by the British. Hess joined the Troll Society, an anti-Semite right-wing Volkslied group or people's group, and the High Court of Colonel Lothar von Epp, one of the many such volunteer paramilitary organizations active in Germany at the time, or the Weimar Republic. Bavaria witnessed frequent and often bloody conflicts between the right-wing groups such as the Freikorps and the left-wing forces such as the Bavarian Socialist Republic just springs to mind, as they fought for the control of the state and the Bundeswehrs during this period. Hess was participating in street battles in the early 1919s and led a group which distributed thousands of anti-Semite pamphlets in Munich. He later said that Egypt made him a nationalist, the war made him a socialist, and Munich made him an anti-Semite. Das Judas. In 1919, Hess enrolled in the University of Munich, where he studied history and economics. His geopolitical professor was Karl Hasshofer, a former general in the German army who was a proponent for the concept of Lebensraum or living space, which Hasshofer cited to justify the proposal that Germany should forcefully conquer additional territories in Eastern Europe. Hess later introduced this concept to Adolf Hitler, and it became one of the pillars of the Nazi Party's ideology. Hess then became good friends with Hasshofer and his son Albrecht, a socialist theorist and lecturer. Ischrol, a fellow student of the university, met Hess in April 1920, when they by chance rented rooms in the same boarding house. They married on the 20th of December 1927, and their only child, their son, Wolf Hess, was born 10 years later on the 18th of November 1937. His name was at least in part to honor Hitler, who often used Wolf as a code name. Hess nicknamed the boy Bruce. And there's our story for Hess in World War I. Ich bin aufhören, sie den Produzien, aufhören, sie zu kaden. Helden Esparagen des Esans, ich hel Volks. In hel Volk unhulden ist hin Volk unherhör. Den in Haferholen Führer ist in Raden Führer. Der in Hafofer vor der Rögern zuhören Seiten Gerüchen ist. Der den Haferhogigen zuhören dich gewaschen ist. Home to the people that fails to honor its heroes. It will cease producing them, ceasing knowing them. Heroes spring from the essence of their people. A people without heroes is a people without leaders. For who a heroic leader is a true leader, able to withstand the challenge of difficult times. Rudolf Hess. Learn something. And even though this is kind of propaganda, it is true. If we forget our heroes, if we forget the veterans, if we forget history, we are always doomed to repeat it and lose it to time, to repeat it, to lose it to time, to repeat it, to lose it to time, and then infinity. Learn something.